Eccoci qua, today I'm sharing with you one of the most iconic Italy's pasta dishes, pasta alla matriciana. This recipe is a true classic, but also has a powerful story behind it. It's considered one of 4 Roma main pasta dishes, cacio e pepe, pasta alla grigia, carbonara and this one, amatriciana. But it's actually not for Rome. The word Amatriciana in Italian means from Amatrice, a town in central Italy, originally part of Abruzzo, my region, now part of Lazio, that was sadly devastated. The town was nearly leveled by an earthquake in 2016. I want to take a little bit of time, really 2 or 3 minutes, to talk a little bit about the history of this recipe and this magnificent town. Pasta alla matriciana has very humble origins, pastoral, humble origins. The whole area has been for centuries a shepherd area. And this dish was invented out of necessity, yes, because those shepherds used to go from the center Italy to the south to find greener grass for their sheep, doing those long, huge walks called transumanza. And ingredients like pecorino, cured pork, and dried pasta were perfect to bring with them and keep the journey going. That's how was invented pasta alla grigia. The earliest version of this dish, pasta alla grigia, had no tomatoes because they didn't have tomatoes yet. You find the pasta alla grigia video with all the information about this area, the shepherd, the transumanza, in my previous video that should show up right here or right here. So for amatriciana we gotta wait the 1700s when tomatoes not just arrived in Europe because they arrived 2 centuries before, they became accepted as something to eat. First, tomatoes were just an ornamental plant. They were scared, the Europeans were scared of eating tomatoes because they thought it was poisoning. We're the Italian, probably the first ones to really try to integrate it to their cuisine, and we make it, they make it, probably the main ingredient of the nowadays Italian cuisine. So once the amatriciani got their hands on tomatoes and a little bit of chili peppers, which we're not using today, they added to the beloved pasta alla grigia, and that's how amatriciana was invented in Amatrice. But why? Why this dish is considered one of the Roma pasta dishes? Well, because by the 19th century, many amatriciani, the people from Amatrice, moved to Rome, the capital, and opened trattorias there, selling this amazing dish, la matriciana. Nowadays, matriciana is so important and so popular that there is an official recipe in the Amatrice City Hall that has very specific guidelines on how to make this dish. As we say, the origins are dated centuries ago, so I'm sure there are many versions of this dish. They're all delicious. In a second, I'm gonna show you how I prepare the pasta alla matriciana. As I said, I come from central Italy too. We've been making it since I was born, at least in my house, this way. So let's not waste any more time and start the recipe. First, let's list the ingredients. Pasta, which traditionally is bucatini. Spaghetti works too. I usually make it with short pasta, gotta be honest. Today we're using spaghetti because I didn't find bucatini, so I wanted to make it traditional, but I actually didn't. Then we're gonna need the stars, guanciale and pecorino. Tomatoes, you can use either tomatoes and turn it into a sauce, or use a good can of tomatoes. With good, I mean that doesn't have preservatives in it. Look at the label, read it, it has to have tomatoes and salt, that's it, maybe some basil. Prima cosa, slice the guanciale in thin slices or small cubes, then heat up a skillet and put the guanciale into it. Sauté this for a few minutes, then turn down the heat and let it simmer at low until the guanciale is crispy enough for your taste. As you can see, you don't need any oil or butter. The fat from the guanciale, it's gonna be enough. Look, as everything heat up, the guanciale start releasing this beautiful fat. Once you have it, you should have a good amount of amazing, tasty fat from the guanciale. So remove almost all the meat and put the tomato puree in the same skillet. Season with just a little bit of salt, because pecorino and guanciale are very salty ingredients, and they're both in the sauce, because we're adding right now a little bit of shaved pecorino in the sauce. We're gonna add more at the end, but for now we're gonna let the sauce cook with some of this wonderful and particular flavor from the pecorino. While that's going on, we just mix the pasta, so hopefully you had a large pot of water boiling. I forgot to mention, if not, just do it now, and once it's boiling, pour the pasta into it and cook it 3 minutes under the cooking instruction on the package. Do not overcook it, because once you reach the cooking time, we're gonna dry it directly into the sauce and we're gonna finish the cooking time in there. So we add a little bit of cooking water and we bring the heat high under the sauce to ripassare la pasta into it. That's how we say it in Italian. I never found the right translation. Ripassare, it means to pass again in the sauce, to cook again. The way everything is gonna go together, the flavors, the pasta is gonna get more creamy and drink that sauce to make a wonderful dish. Now, we just gotta plate it. Let's put the guanciale back where it belongs, some more pecorino, and if you want black pepper, I didn't put it because I had this very peppery guanciale. The skin was covered in black pepper, was enough for me. If you want, you can add it in the sauce now at the end. Do however you want. I made it this way, and now it's lunchtime for me.